An NFL player's career is unlike any other job, as they can be the hero and everything is all sunshine and rainbows one minute, and if they mess up seemingly the next minute, they are old news and on their way out of town. There is an insane amount of pressure on every player on every play, as sometimes inches can separate an incomplete pass from a 55 or 60-yard touchdown, or an offensive lineman holding up in pass protection long enough so that the quarterback can make that big throw. And in today's video, we're going to be discussing 4 quarterbacks that have the most pressure on them heading into the 2022 NFL season. All of these quarterbacks are, believe it or not, 25 or younger, and we will thoroughly discuss why there is just that much pressure on each of them, and without further ado, let's begin. And we're going to start today's video with Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Lamar is a very scrutinized player to begin with, and is also a former Most Valuable Player award winner. You do not win an MVP by accident and have the type of year he had in 2019, but unfortunately for Lamar, he has not been the same player since. 2021 for him is kind of a throwaway year, to me at least, as anything that could have went wrong for the Ravens last year in a lot of ways did. His top 2 running backs in J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards were done for the year before it even started with torn ACLs, and that was very much a sign of things to come for the Ravens. Lamar flashed in 2021 at times, see the Colts game, in what was his worst year of full-time starting, which means we are excluding 2018 from this, and the Browns game showed the worst year of his starting career within that. He threw 4 picks, and in a very Ravens way, they ended up winning, and in a very Browns way, they ended up losing that game, but Lamar himself was awful in that game, and that was one of the worst games of his career so far. He got injured in the next Browns game trying to evade a sack from Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, which prematurely ended his season. And fast forward to present day, and Lamar is in need of a contract extension, and the Ravens also traded away their former number 1 wide receiver in Marquise Hollywood Brown. The pressure on Lamar to perform this year more than ever is palpable, as he has just 1 career playoff win and had, as of now, the outlier MVP year. And like with fellow AFC North quarterback Baker Mayfield, I don't think 2021 is a fair or accurate representation of the long-term player Lamar, or even Baker for that matter, is. But with wanting the extension, and by the way, understandably so, and not having your former number 1 receiver, and with the AFC getting insanely better this offseason as a whole, the Ravens' 2022 success, in a lot of ways, fair or not, will fall on the shoulders of Lamar Jackson. I think he is a very good player and is way overanalyzed at times, and want him to have success on the field and off the field, meaning financially, but there is no denying it is put up or shut up time for Lamar. His fellow 2018 draftee Josh Allen received a very hefty contract from the Bills and has been spectacular since. Can Lamar do the same if he receives the said extension before the start of the 2022 season? Well, hopefully we'll find out soon, and all of this goes without having said. The Bengals killed them last year in both games, and as of now, run the AFC North. And it's time for Lamar and the gang to step up, and the pressure is on entering 2022. And speaking of those Cincinnati Bengals that the Ravens will have to perform against in a big way in 2022, we go to Southwestern Ohio not to discuss just Joe Burrow, but the receivers as well. The Bengals went from an irrelevant franchise to Super Bowl contenders and ultimately losing the big game to the Los Angeles Rams by just 3 points. And what a story, honestly, to have an Ohio-born kid win a Heisman Trophy on one of the best college teams of all time, to him having to go through personal adversity when he tore his ACL in 2020, to drafting his former college teammate in the top 5 picks of the first round, to the Super Bowl in 1 year. If they won the Super Bowl, Hollywood would kick you out for having a script like that, and jokes aside on the Hollywood part, but the Bengals now have a hell of a target on their back. Was this a 1-year run? Are they poised to step up in 2022 now that they've been to a Super Bowl? How will Joe Shiesty himself play after losing the big game? There are so many questions, and they have an insanely difficult schedule this year, as they will play all of the division winners from the AFC last year. So think Buffalo, Kansas City, and Tennessee, and with the way the schedule works now, they will also play Tampa Bay and Dallas. The expectations here are enormous in entering 2021. There were a lot of Bengals fans that already were not fans of head coach Zach Taylor, so what happens if they drop 3 of their first 5 games, or 3 of their final 5 games? There's going to be a lot of pressure, and with this young of a team, it would not surprise me to see them crack under the pressure this year, given how good the rest of the AFC is. And that's not to say they will as much as it is to say it simply would not surprise me. I don't doubt Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson, but it will be extremely interesting to see how they perform this year with all eyes on them. This is a team that beat the Kansas City Chiefs twice in a month span last year and very, very much wants to get back to the Super Bowl and win. Not just be there, but win. And we'll see how Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and the gang do in 2022. And from 2 AFC quarterbacks, we go to discuss an NFC quarterback, and it is Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler is a solid quarterback, but to me, he is not an elite of the elite quarterback, and sure, he has the occasional splash play where, you think, holy shit, is this where he finally turns the corner and becomes that player? But more often than not, it is exactly that. A splash play. And with Kyler, it's not just him that has the pressure, it is also head coach Cliff Kingsbury, as they went from a team that started out 7-0 in the regular season last year to a team that was smoked on the road by 3 scores in the playoffs, and now they do not have one of their best players for a large portion of the season in DeAndre Hopkins, and lost pass rusher Chandler Jones in free agency. So a lot of the burden will naturally be placed on Kyler's shoulders, as he, like Lamar, and again understandably so, wants a contract extension. Now, is he worth $45 or $50 million per year as a quarterback? To me, the answer is a resounding no, but the Cardinals will more than likely pay it because they're kind of handcuffed into doing so. The 49ers and Rams are very good teams, but so what? Are we going to trade our quarterback away because times are a little tough right now, or are we going to kick back and fight and try and get through these guys? They're going to do exactly that, or at least attempt to do that, and Kyler is going to have to step up and play like a damn near MVP level quarterback. They did him a big service by adding former college teammate this offseason in Marquise Brown to help him out, and rookie tight end Trey McBride from Colorado, along with having veteran tight end Zach Ertz. But Kyler has been doing the deleting social media posts and alluding to he wants an extension and everything. Again, I don't blame him for that, but how will he, and again Cliff for that matter, respond from a beating in the playoffs to the Los Angeles Rams? A playoff win, really at minimum, is the expectations this year, and from a franchise that has the tough decision as to pay Kyler or not, they need him to be healthy and to play at a level for which he will probably soon be compensated. And Kyler has an enormous amount of pressure on his shoulders entering the upcoming season. And next, from Phoenix, we go to Los Angeles to discuss Chargers third-year quarterback Justin Herbert. Justin has had an insane first 2 years as the Chargers quarterback, as he has 69 nice passing touchdowns to just 25 interceptions and is very clearly a franchise quarterback. The pressure comes from how the team performs this year, and for as good as Herbert himself has been over the past 2 years, the Chargers have not made the playoffs since 2018 and very quietly have just a singular postseason appearance since 2013. They made some strides this offseason and got both Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson to help out the defense, and were extremely close to making the playoffs last year. In fact, about as close as a team could get. And with everything they did in the past 5 months or so, people have been predicting the Chargers to not just take a step and make the playoffs, but some people have been predicting them to go rather far in the vaunted AFC. And a lot of it is because of Justin Herbert and how much he has shown over his first 2 years in the NFL. He's a humble player and a fun player to watch, and people love rooting for him. Keenan Allen is very much of the same. He's also a very good receiver, and the same can be said for Mike Williams and Austin Eckler. All of these guys on the offense are easy to root for. So naturally, the Chargers are a team people want to see succeed. But how will they perform against the Bills and Chiefs and Bengals when everything is on the line? Because while they did beat the Bengals by nearly 3 touchdowns last year, did that matter come January when they lost in Week 18 to the Las Vegas Raiders when they could have played for a tie? No, it doesn't mean anything other than that it's a moral win to have heading into 2022. And for all of the good Justin Herbert has done so far, and now that it has been 2 years, so I feel comfortable saying this, for all of the good he will continue to do, it's time that it is in the months of January and even February, and not just September through December. And I think Herbert is more than ready for the challenge. And with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, now is the time I ask you to please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it would truly mean the world. And until next time, as always, please be safe and have a great day. Love you guys.